Spring MCA testing is just around the corner, so we've created this brief video to share some helpful information to ensure that online MCA testing goes smoothly and securely at your school. Please open up another tab to the tiny URL link to access these slides for future reference and embedded links. MCA online testing will be conducted this year through Pearson. If you participated in OPA testing in January, you have already experienced this adjustment. The Pearson MCA testing interface is similar to MAP, but different, so please be sure that students have had the opportunity to see and practice using the tools and navigator features to proceed through the test environment effectively. If students do have questions about the navigation features when they are testing, you will be able to help them by giving them verbal directions and support. Minnesota has predetermined the testing windows, and your building testing schedule should already be finalized and shared with you. This year, MDE requires that all schools post their MCA testing dates to their school website. You will be using the attendance roster recording sheet when your students test to help track student absences and completion. Makeup testing will be conducted through your media specialist and SAS. We have created a new flipped MCA Proctor online training. This opportunity is available for all proctors to provide the information that you will need prior to testing. To complete this course, it will take 30 minutes and you will be eligible to earn 2 CEUs for completing the requirements. You may click the link provided to access that training. Test security is extremely important for the MCAs. The link below is the test monitor directions. You will need to review and sign the non-disclosure form and turn it in to your media specialist or office coordinator prior to April 1st. Any employee that interacts with any testing materials is required to review and sign the non-disclosure form. To help prepare students for the test, Pearson has provided an online student tutorial video that you may share with your students about a week prior to testing. Also, there is a student directions video that can be shared with students a few days prior to testing. Most buildings will be using seating charts to help maintain test security during the MCAs. If you are a 5th grade teacher, the math formula sheets will be provided for students in the lab. Pearson has also created online item samplers for you to access. They are available in math, reading, and science for each grade level. It is suggested that you use the Safari internet browser to get the item samplers. All instructional resources in the classroom and hallways must be taken down or covered while the corresponding test is being administered. If you have any doubt about materials, it is best to cover them or take them down. On your day of testing, there are a few helpful reminders to help maintain test security and ease the environment for students. Be sure that students are aware of the assigned computer that they will be testing at and your expectations about headphones, that they must remain plugged in during the entire testing, whether they are used or not. Please provide clear directions for students to have books, water bottles, food, anything else on the floor during the test. Students that will use scratch paper must write their name at the top, and all scratch paper must be collected and destroyed within 48 hours of testing. We will be using student login cards to help get into the test. Students' first and last name and Mars student ID numbers will be provided on the cards. The test session will also be provided for you from your media specialist. Please be sure to confirm that accurate information is entered into the computer when students are logging in. As a proctor, you must verify students sitting at the computers are in fact the correct student that is on the test interface. This is your most important responsibility during MCA testing, to be actively monitoring the test session. We cannot stress this enough, because to maintain the test security, we ask that you remain attentive throughout the entire administration. You must walk around the test room to ensure that students are working on the correct test and to discourage the prohibited student behaviors. The following activities are prohibited: reading, grading papers, using any sort of electronic device, or engaging in activity in the computer lab that is not directly related to the test. If you notice an erroneous question, document that on the student roster. Please encourage students to answer the question to the best of their ability and continue on. As you are proctoring the MCA tests, there are no major computer functions that you will be required to use. The link below will give you the troubleshooting guide should you want to be aware of those. The most common errors that we've experienced are issues logging in with inaccurate information and a delayed load, which can be solved by using the refresh function or logging back into the system. When you are proctoring the MCA test, it's extremely important that students pace themselves as they are working through the test sections. For the reading test, students should have a 15 minutes advance warning to complete all the questions for the passage that they're currently working on. This will help ensure that all of the test information is stored and saved for students to complete at a later time. For the math test, it is an adaptive format, meaning that students will not be allowed to go back to their previous answers to review them. In science and reading, students will have the ability to go back to review their answers. Please be sure that students remain seated and quiet until all students have finished testing, or it is time for you to exit the lab. It's also going to be important that all login cards, attendance rosters, seating charts, and any other testing-related documentation be returned to your media specialist upon completing your test session. Thank you for your attention and support with administering MCA testing this spring. If you have additional questions or concerns, please contact your principal, media specialist, or SAS.